Hey Canada, it's Earl. There's a big, fat elephant standing in the middle of the room right now and nobody wants to talk about it. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party, is out there publicly cheering on Mark Carney and the Liberals getting a majority government. The guy who is supposed to be the main opposition voice in Canada's largest province is actively helping the Liberals consolidate power. On the very same day that advance polling and early election voting begins in some ridings, Doug Ford is out there promoting the idea that a Carney majority is good for Ontario and good for Canada. This isn't just politics as usual. This is dangerous. In a parliamentary democracy like Canada, the opposition's job is simple: hold the government accountable, oppose bad legislation, and offer a real alternative to the people. When the opposition starts helping the government get a majority, democracy itself starts to break down. The whole system is built on the idea that different parties fight each other in Parliament so that no one side can ram through whatever they want without scrutiny. So let's talk about what the Liberals are actually trying to push through right now. Bills that are clearly not in the best interest of everyday Canadians. Bill C-15, Budget Implementation Act, gives any minister the power to exempt any person, any company, or any entity from almost any federal law except the criminal code if they decide it's in the public interest. It literally includes the ability to bypass the Conflict of Interest Act. This is a blank check for cronyism. Bill C-9, Combating Hate Act, removes the long-standing good faith religious defense from hate speech laws. This means quoting scripture or expressing religious beliefs in good faith could now land you in legal trouble. Direct attack on freedom of religion and freedom of expression. Bill C-63, Online Harms Act, still floating around with vague hate definitions that let the government and bureaucrats decide what speech is allowed online. More control over what you can say and share. The continued industrial carbon tax increases 16% just this week, while families are struggling with gas prices, groceries, and heating bills. The 30 by 30 Land Protection Plan, $3.8 billion to lock up 30% of Canada's land and waters by 2030. This restricts rural development, farming, mining, and resource projects while regular people can't afford housing or groceries. The pattern of floor crossers being rewarded with titles, foreign trips, and government contracts while the public gets higher taxes and higher costs. These are not small policy tweaks. These are structural changes that give more power to the executive, reduce accountability, limit free speech, restrict land use, and make life more expensive for ordinary Canadians. And Doug Ford, a conservative premier, is out there helping Mark Carney get the majority he needs to ram all of this through with even less resistance. This is the elephant in the room. In a minority government, the opposition is supposed to keep the government honest. They're supposed to force debates, demand amendments, and be ready to vote non-confidence if the government goes too far. When the opposition starts acting like the government's best friend, democracy stops working the way it's supposed to. We have the internet now. We can see what's happening in real time. We can see the bills. We can see the voting records. We can see who is benefiting and who is getting hurt. So here's the question I want every Canadian to ask themselves. Why is Doug Ford helping Mark Carney get a majority right now at the exact moment when early voting is starting and the Liberals are pushing all these controversial bills? Is he really putting Ontario and Canada first? Or is he part of the same club that wants these global agendas to move forward without real opposition? I'm Earl, just a regular Canadian who still believes in basic democratic principles. If this bothers you as much as it bothers me, share this, talk to your friends and family, and hold every single politician accountable, liberal, conservative, or otherwise. We deserve real opposition. We deserve politicians who actually fight for us, not for each other's agendas. Thanks for listening. Stay awake.